Hey NFL fans, before we dive into today's hottest stories, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. From NFL News Now and Foxborough, there are weeks when the story writes itself, and then there are weeks when the script gets torn apart 10 minutes into the game. That's exactly what happened to Mike Vrabel's Patriots in Week 11, when one of the emotional anchors and physical centerpieces of the defense, Williams, went down on the very first drive. With a high ankle sprain, you could almost feel the collective gasp at Gillette Stadium as he was helped off. Because everyone knew what the injury meant for weeks minimum on injured reserve, and for weeks of a defense that suddenly had to reinvent itself from the inside out. Yet if there's one thing you can say about Vrabel, it's that the man has never panicked a day in his life. Whether he was fighting through double teams as a linebacker or dissecting a sideline tablet, as a head coach, Vrabel has always been wired for adversity. And this week he made it crystal clear that the Patriots' defensive engine wasn't going to stall, just because one of its pistons needed time in the shop. Standing in front of reporters at Gillette with that trademark Vrabel tone, half calm, half challenge, fully confident, he laid out exactly what the next month would look like. He didn't sugarcoat the loss. He didn't try to pretend that you can pull a player like Williams out of the lineup and simply rotate another guy in like changing a battery. But he also didn't flinch when asked how the Patriots plan to keep their front seven alive and kicking, with the same steady voice he used years ago when calling out future Hall of Fame quarterbacks. At the line of scrimmage, Vrabel said, "I think we have good depth there," and you could tell he meant every word of it. He pointed directly to the guys who will now have to carry the weight: Christian Barmore, Khyiris Tonga, and Corey Durden. He talked about Eric Gregory, who played his first NFL game in Week 11, and held his own like a man who has been waiting for this shot his entire life. He mentioned Josh Farmer, still working his way back from an ankle issue, and Jeremiah Farms, grinding every day on the scout team, waiting for the moment the coaches point to him and say, "You're up." To understand why this matters, you have to understand what Williams has become for this Patriots unit. The guy isn't just a stat line, he's a gravitational force. At 6'3" and 290 pounds, he brings that perfect blend of explosiveness and leverage that defensive line coaches dream about, but rarely get in reality. His 27 tackles, 3.5 sacks, 8 quarterback hits, and 8 run stuffs are impressive. But the real magic is in how he transforms what New England can call defensively. Last year, this front spent too much time reading and reacting, waiting to diagnose plays. This year, thanks largely to Williams' arrival, they've been unleashed to attack. They've been shooting gaps, wrecking run schemes before they even form, and giving opposing quarterbacks that uncomfortable feeling that the walls are moving in on them before they've even hit their back foot. Pair that with the ascension of Christian Barmore, and the Patriots have finally built something they haven't had in years: a defensive interior that can dictate games. Instead of merely surviving them, losing a presence like that isn't a crack in the armor, it's a dent in the hull. And still, Vrabel refuses to let panic enter the building. Instead, he's turning this into what every old-school football coach believes in: a next-man-up moment. But not the cliché version. This is about identity. This is about resilience. This is about finding out what kind of defensive culture New England really has now that Vrabel has put his fingerprints all over the place. And if you listen to him talk about the backups, the reserves, the developmental guys, you start to hear something more than coach speak. You hear belief. Take Gregory, for example. The guy is an absolute mystery box, and that's exactly why fans are buzzing about him. Originally signed by Cincinnati after the draft, he arrived in New England almost under the radar, but when you turn on his Arkansas tape, you see a defensive lineman who understands leverage, who never quits on plays, and who has the kind of raw power you simply can't teach. At 6 feet 3 inches and 319 pounds, he's got the frame of a run stuffer, but the motor of a pass rusher who wants to live in the backfield. Vrabel and his staff loved what they saw in practice, and when they finally put him on the field in Week 11, he didn't look like someone tiptoeing through his NFL debut. He battled. He pushed the pile. He showed flashes, small ones, but important ones, that he might be capable of becoming more than just a body in the rotation. Then there's Tonga, a player whose strength is so absurd that offensive linemen talk about it the way regular people talk about lifting a couch by themselves. He's a space eater. The kind of guy who can take on a double team and somehow still find a way to collapse the pocket. And right next to him is Durden, who has quietly carved out a role as one of the most reliable rotational pieces on the roster. Durden doesn't need spotlight, he needs snaps. And he's about to get plenty of them. Vrabel knows that those three bar more, Tonga. Durden can hold the line at the start of this stretch without Williams. But what he really needs is the second wave. The developmental guys, the hungry ones, to step into the storm and show they belong. Farmer might be one of the most interesting names on that list before the ankle injury. He was drawing praise for his explosiveness, the kind of twitch that makes defensive line coaches stand up straighter during film sessions, and Farms, working day after day on the scout team, has become the kind of player teammates point to when talking about work ethic. Vrabel made it clear, Farms is ready whenever his number is called. And if you know anything about this Patriots coaching staff, it's that opportunities sometimes come when players least expect them, but they'd better be ready. All this brings us to the bigger picture. The one Vrabel has been painting since the day he took the job, this defense, even without Williams, can still be aggressive, it can still dictate tempo, it can still force opponents into uncomfortable down and distance situations, but it's going to take trust from coaches, trust among players, and trust in the system they've been building. Vrabel isn't looking for someone to become Williams, he's looking for a collective effort. A defensive front that refuses to let one injury change its identity. And he's betting that the guys in that room, from Barmore the rising star to Gregory the newcomer with something to prove, are ready to accept the challenge in the next 4 weeks. We're going to learn a lot about the Patriots, not just about their record, their playoff chances, or their defensive rankings, but about their toughness, about their adaptability. About the truth behind the speeches, the meetings, the practice reps that fans never see. This is the part of the season where teams either crumble or crystallize. Where depth charts stop being lines on paper and start becoming real, tangible answers to real problems. Williams will be missed, there's no denying that. But in Foxborough, under Vrabel, the story has never been about one man. It's about the team, the standard, and the expectation that no matter who goes down, the fight doesn't stop. And over the next month, that fight is about to define the Patriots season. Keep watching as we analyze more details about some rumors. You're not going to believe what's happening in the NFL right now. It's the kind of story that makes fans jump out of their seats, phones in hand, and social media explode with chaos. Rumors are flying faster than a Tom Brady deep ball, and if you thought the NFL was predictable, think again. The league, in a move that has left everyone scratching their heads, has officially changed the outcome of one of the most talked about matchups in recent memory. Yes, you heard that right. The New England Patriots have been declared the winners against the Pittsburgh Steelers in a game that, until now, everyone thought had gone the other way. The internet is buzzing. Twitter threads are exploding, and Reddit communities dedicated to Patriots and Steelers fans alike are full of theories, disbelief, and heated debates. It's the kind of twist that only the NFL could deliver, and yet, here we are, processing a reality that feels almost unreal. People are replaying highlights, scrutinizing every angle of the game, every refereeing call, every replay, trying to figure out how this could possibly happen. The official word from the league cites a review process that spanned weeks, involving complex rule interpretations and technical clarifications that even seasoned analysts admit are confusing. Sources close to the matter hint at a controversial decision made during the last moments of the game, something that wasn't fully accounted for in the original ruling. There's talk of a review committee quietly working behind the scenes, poring over video footage and stat sheets, ultimately concluding that the Patriots should have walked off the field as the victors. And let's be real, the Patriots fan base is in absolute celebration mode, while Steelers fans are trying to cope with a sense of injustice that's hard to shake off. The story isn't just about one game, it's about what this means for the integrity of the sport, for how games are reviewed, and for the growing conversations around transparency and officiating. It's a narrative that has all the ingredients of a scandal, and yet it's being framed by the league as a correction, a rectification of what they now claim was a mistake. Analysts are weighing in, some cautiously optimistic, others sharply critical. The question on everyone's lips is, how does this affect the standings, playoff seeding, player stats, contracts, and performance bonuses tied to wins? Every angle is being examined, every potential ripple effect dissected with the kind of intensity you usually see in courtroom dramas, and the drama doesn't stop there. Rumors suggest that some of the Patriots' strategies, plays that seemed minor or inconsequential at the time, were in fact pivotal in this new ruling. There's speculation that a specific refereeing signal, missed or misinterpreted during the live broadcast, played a huge role in the original loss, and the league's internal review process has now shifted the narrative completely. Sports media outlets are scrambling to update their coverage, rewriting game summaries, adjusting highlight reels, and reshaping the storyline of an entire season with just a single press release. Imagine waking up to check your fantasy league, only to find that a game you thought was a loss is now a win. The psychological impact on players is also a huge talking point. Patriots players, who endured criticism and doubt after the original game, are now being hailed as heroes who should have been celebrated all along. Meanwhile, Steelers players are facing a wave of frustration, questioning not just the outcome, but the processes behind the decision. Coaches are reportedly in meetings behind closed doors, reviewing game tapes with renewed focus, trying to understand how this ruling will affect their strategy moving forward, and fans are not holding back either. Social media is ablaze with memes, hot takes, and long-form analyses that break down every possible angle of the league's decision-making. Podcasts are dedicating entire episodes to dissecting what this means, and sports commentators are adjusting their narratives in real time. There's even chatter about whether this could set a precedent for future games. Could the NFL retroactively change more outcomes if errors are discovered? Is this a one-off, or the start of a new era where no result is truly final until weeks after the whistle blows? The implications are massive, and the excitement bordering on chaos is palpable. Betting circles, of course, are in uproar, recalculating odds and payouts. And lawyers in sports law are reportedly reviewing contracts and potential disputes. The story has transcended a simple win-loss record. It's become a cultural moment, a topic of endless debate in sports bars, online forums, and casual conversations alike. Everyone is asking themselves the same question: how did this happen? And why now? Patriots fans are celebrating as though a Super Bowl has been won. And while no one can deny their joy, the shadow of controversy hangs over every celebration. Steelers fans, on the other hand, are rallying, posting threads and videos of disputed plays, claiming injustice and promising that the team's reputation is still intact, despite what the league now says. And let's not forget the referees. Their role, their calls, and their interpretations are under an intense microscope. Some are defending the decision, citing rules that most fans don't fully understand, while others are quietly criticizing the league for the confusion this has caused. The narrative is evolving minute by minute, and it feels like we're witnessing history in real time. Commentators are describing it as a once-in-a-lifetime situation, a scenario that could reshape the league's approach to officiating, replay reviews, and transparency. There's speculation that team owners will weigh in soon, and sources suggest that internal meetings are happening at the highest levels of the NFL hierarchy. Even the players' unions are reportedly discussing the ramifications, particularly in terms of fair play, statistics, and contractual obligations. It's a storm that refuses to settle, a story that keeps growing with each passing hour. Imagine the Patriots locker room right now, an atmosphere charged with disbelief, jubilation, and the surreal feeling of a victory that didn't feel like a victory at first, now officially recognized. Meanwhile, the Steelers locker room is a different kind of storm, a mix of confusion, frustration, and determination to come back stronger in the next game. Analysts on sports networks are breaking down the timeline, showing footage of plays that were pivotal, interviewing former referees, and speculating on the possible long-term consequences for both teams and the league as a whole. And let's not ignore the fans outside of the immediate teams. Neutral fans are weighing in, sharing opinions, and debating whether the NFL's decision was correct or an overreach. The discussion transcends simple fandom. It's about the rules, ethics, and the way professional sports handle error correction in the modern era. Some insiders suggest that this ruling could lead to more sophisticated review processes, maybe even AI-assisted officiating, as the league tries to prevent confusion like this in the future. Rumors abound that other teams are watching closely, learning from the Patriots-Steelers situation, and rethinking their approach to disputes, replays, and controversial calls. It's like a ripple effect across the entire league, with implications that go far beyond just a single game, and the buzz doesn't stop there. Social media challenges, TikTok breakdowns, YouTube reactions, and meme compilations are circulating at lightning speed, turning a controversial ruling into a full-blown cultural phenomenon. The narrative has taken on a life of its own, blending sport, drama, and spectacle in a way few stories ever have. Patriots news outlets are running wall-to-wall coverage. Steelers-focused platforms are dissecting the fallout, and neutral analysts are trying to offer objective takes. Though objectivity feels almost impossible in the middle of this storm, if you're a sports fan, you can feel it in your bones. Something unprecedented has happened. The Patriots are officially winners. A statement that will echo through the season, shaping playoff races, influencing player morale, and altering the way every team in the NFL approaches the concept of fairness and accuracy. The league's decision has set off a cascade of reactions, from fan outrage to jubilation. From analytical deep dives to casual debates in living rooms across the country, it's more than a game result. It's a story about authority, judgment, and the fine line between error and correction in one of the world's most popular sports leagues. And as the hours tick by, the discussions, debates, and speculations continue to grow, ensuring that this game and this decision will be remembered long after the final whistle would have blown. The Patriots-Steelers matchup has transcended the field, becoming a legend in its own right, a topic for endless rumination and spirited argument. Fans are sharing clips, highlighting questionable calls, and reliving every critical moment as if they were present in the stadium themselves. Analysts are piecing together the narrative, connecting dots, and trying to determine what this might mean for future seasons. And somewhere in all of this, the NFL is watching, responding, and setting a precedent that could define how controversies are managed going forward. It's a whirlwind of emotion, logic, and speculation, a story that has everything a sports fan could ever want: drama, uncertainty, and a twist no one saw coming. Patriots fans are celebrating, Steelers fans are fuming, analysts are theorizing, and the world is watching in anticipation, trying to make sense of a moment in sports history that will be talked about for years. And as this story unfolds, one thing is clear: nothing in the NFL is ever truly set in stone, and every game, every call, every replay could hold the potential for the unimaginable. The Patriots being declared winners in this game isn't just news, it's a seismic event, a narrative bombshell that shakes the very foundation of how football is watched, analyzed, and debated. Everyone is part of the conversation now, whether through hot takes, memes, or deep dives into obscure rules, and the story is far from over. Rumors continue to swirl about behind-the-scenes decisions, possible appeals, and the long-term fallout, ensuring that this isn't just a chapter in a season, it's a saga, a legendary twist in NFL history that will be discussed for decades to come. The Patriots-Steelers controversy is more than just a game, it's a reflection of sports culture, league authority, and the endless pursuit of fairness in a game where split-second decisions can change everything. As debates rage on, fans of both teams and the neutral observers caught in the crossfire are realizing that they're witnessing something truly extraordinary. And somewhere, in the midst of it all, the league, the players, and the fans are learning a lesson. In the NFL, expect the unexpected, because even the final whistle isn't always final. Patriots news has never been this electric, and Steelers fans have never been this frustrated. And somewhere in the chaos, history is being rewritten. The buzz isn't dying down anytime soon, and one thing is certain: this story, this twist, and this controversial victory will dominate conversations for weeks, months, and maybe even years. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your fellow NFL fans. Stay tuned for more updates, only here on NFL News Now.